We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day, and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more, because we have an appointment with destiny.
And sports fans, we welcome you back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider, the official podcast that nobody cares about us being officially anything at all whatsoever. You care about the kids, you care about the sports, you care about Dave Ring showing off. Sun's out, guns out. Look at that. Dave Ring, Bodie DeSilva, it's Masters. Bodie's shoes match Dave's top.
Oh, yeah.
And Bodie's top matches Dave's pants.
What I realize is that you don't get my pants, so I just don't go hard down there. I go off up here.
I appreciate you not going hard down there on a high school show.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So, hey, look, we got Bodie to laugh finally after 7 years of doing a podcast. All right. So, for those of you that are new to the show, the way this works is we start with the top 10 from this week. This is kind of a recap of how the top 10 fared. We have an intern that is here constantly violating Dave's personal space. Then we're going to talk about some game balls, some dingers, and some other top performances from the week. Hey, Kingsley.
You're the best.
I
haven't been here for 2 weeks, so
fair enough. Let's start with the top 10 while we deal with our chaotic energy intern. Bodie DeSilva from Scorebook Live. He's the official digital content provider of all things nationally high school baseball. And he's been very generous to the San Diego teams, putting them in the Power 25. Bodie, though, is he does Scorebooks 1 on a Monday. So this has largely become recapping how they fared, and Dave has the luxury of doing these Thursday morning so that he can sound a tad bit more relevant. Let's start with you, Bodie DeSilva, 10-1 on how things went, were, however you want to say it.
Yeah, some things change, but in some cases they don't at all. So La Costa Canyon, they were at number 1 for me. That's one that I have appeared to look smart at so far. But Rancho Bernardo at number 2, they do have a loss. They're 2-1 so far this week. Granite Hills at number 3, they've lost twice. Those losses are to La Costa Canyon and Rancho Bernardo, so it's not that it's the worst losses, but it's still 4 losses overall. Eastlake, they're at number 4. They got a couple big transfers eligible, which I will talk about later as we go on. They are going to play La Costa in a huge game later today. Carlsbad, they are now 13-0. They were 10-0 to start the week. They are probably the biggest surprise to me at this point. I thought they'd be good. I didn't know they'd be top 5 and undefeated at this point. Montgomery's there at number 6. St. Augustine at number 7. Torrey Pines at number 8. They're going to have a big chance against Carlsbad this week, and then they're going to play 3 more times in league next week. Cathedral there at number 9. I saw them have a lead early against Eastlake. Eastlake came back. And then Christian at number 10 has not been their best week. They've struggled offensively. And then just naming the 5 others to watch that I do every week. Maranatha's up there, Scripps Ranch, Santana, Mount Carmel, and Mission Hills, all teams that are ready to break through. And with some of the losses in the top 10, I think there'll be a possibility of some of those moving in this week.
Dave Ring,
your top 10. Thursday top 10. Here we go. I got Eastlake moved up to the number 1 spot, to be honest, after a big week. I got LCC number 2, RB 3, Carlsbad 4. Montgomery, like you said, having a fantastic year. I mean, they're hard to beat. Got them at the next slot. Torrey Pines, Saints, Cathedral, Scripps. And then after a tough 10 games at 6-4, Granite Hills is my number 10 spot. So, I mean, I know that's not going to last very long, but, you know, some of these other teams, I mean, you look at Carlsbad, they haven't lost a game. Like 11-0.
Carlsbad's on the warpath. At 12-0 as of us recording this podcast, I think they are the team that would, if we did a segment, who has surprised us the most this season, I think Carlsbad wins that without really.
Montgomery would be my second, but
that's not surprising. Montgomery has been good, but Montgomery.
Yeah, they were in a D2 title last year. You always know how they're going to play.
But 12-0 with a sophomore who's now committed to UCLA, freaking dealing on the mound.
A brand new coaching staff as well.
So. Look at that. Jake Savicki leaves and they get good. A little less time on TikTok, Jake. A little more championships. I also threw my other one that I threw in. I gave Maranatha the nod this week, and I gave them the 10 slot. And baseball, I think I think you get two to three teams a year. You usually get Bishops in football, where you're like, yeah, they're D3, but they could hang, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
great. Like maybe, probably not. We saw that with El Camino within the championship. You get one basketball team. This year it was Victory Christian, where you're like, they could probably hang in any division.
Yeah.
Baseball, you get 5 or 6 teams where you're like, on that one day with that one permutation, they could really hang.
Yeah.
And Valhalla is kind of right there, but Maranatha to me continues to be
combination
better
of,
and better every week.
of guys that play both ways on the ball. Whoever's day is up for pitching, you're going to get a good effort, and there's a bunch of guys who can hit the ball over the wall. So
Absolutely. So
They play really well on the road also, which, I mean, their field, the ball flies at their field. They know how to hit at their school, let's be honest. But they play well on the road, and it's pretty impressive this year.
speaking of impressive, let's talk about the Lions tournament before we go further into dingers and all that kind of stuff. The Lions tournament, as of us recording this right now, still has the championship games yet to play, but I think we can, devoid of calling specific people champions, we can still talk largely about the results from the Lions tournament. Bodie, you got to see a bunch of them. You got to cover a bunch of them. I know we talked already about some of the games when you were breaking down the top 10. Maybe what did we miss in the Lions tournament that you have not talked about yet?
Yeah, I think, just to kind of clear up confusion from some people, but the whole championship games, there's now rules on, used to be a tournament didn't count for every game, so you could play 2 games today. You can't do that anymore. So I know the champions are just kind of the winners of the pools, but I think for me, it's La Costa going through that pool that they played. They got their rematch game against Granite Hills. They beat them in the finals last year. It was the opener this year, and Granite really took them down. I think it was 10-3. They came back, beat them 12-0. It was a 6-inning game. We saw a no-hitter from Gabe Camacho. I think this La Costa team, ever since that opening loss, has really put things together, and they're playing at a level that's really going to be tough to beat, but they're going to be, that league is the best in the county. They're going to have to play 3 games with Torrey, 3 games with Carlsbad, 3 games with RB, let alone they already played San Marcos, they got Poway. Like, none of those are gimmies. This is going to be a tough league, and I'm really interested to see how they go about it.
Dave, you got to see some long flies this week in person. What did you see from the Lions tournament?
I think it's mostly impressive how dominant the San Diego teams are. I mean, a lot of teams come from all around to play this tournament. It's the biggest high school baseball tournament and the longest held. And to be honest, I mean, the domination that goes on here, like you said, that the teams that are left, I mean, there's Palisades, that one team that is still floating around that's a non-San Diego team, but this is the closest we can get to CIF final games and that type of excitement. So in my opinion, I mean, anyone hits a solo home run at this, in any of these games, the fans have just been going crazy. So the games have been really wild and really exciting to watch, in my opinion. That's what I like.
Yeah, seeing those scores come in and San Diego teams, it seems like have won almost all of them, is really impressive. I know you're not going to get every top team in the state because you can go out of state for games and there's tournaments all over. And this week and last week is such a popular spring break week for different schools. But seeing San Diego hold their own, I know a lot of these games are at home for them, even if you're traveling around the county, has been impressive. But it's not something new. We seem to see this every year with that. So.
And everyone's having a blast too. I mean, people are coming back playing 4 out of 5 days this week, and I think this is exciting time for, if you're a high school player, you just want to play games, right? And this tournament showcases teams that have depth and can play 4 or 5 games in a row and really, have pitching to hold on. So, yeah, this is one of my favorite times of year. This is World Baseball Classic style baseball for us in high school, getting ready for that late season run that we're going to see a lot of these teams try to make.
She's one of the most smackable dogs of all time. Like, she has that rib cage part right there. It's so rewarding. She's muscular, so it sounds like a thud.
Loves me.
Yeah. I think that calling this WBC vibes is great because I have seen a lot of clips where we get legitimate teams are pouring their hearts out into games that are still like, they're still what, 12 to 15 games for a lot of these teams
Right.
between now and the end of the season, let alone now in a championship.
Yeah, I mean,
and
after today, you got to take these next 3 days going into the weekend to get a break, because you're going to have league games probably, whether it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, maybe some Saturday doubleheaders. Like, you're going to have to be ready to bring it.
But I didn't get the vibe that anybody in San Diego was coasting right
Yeah.
now, and that's what I absolutely love. So let's talk about game balls and dingers. Dave,
Let's do it.
would you like to do dingers, please?
Okay. All right. Cathedral's Elijah Selga. He went against Eastlake.
Yeah.
Eastlake won that game. I'm seeing some real fire out of Cathedral dugout. I mean, they are scrappy this year. I can't say enough about how fun it is to watch these guys play. Nico Newhan over at Maranatha, like we said, he's got 5 home runs leading that offense. The kid hits no matter where it is. Ball flies at their school, but one thing that I see out of him is his swing plays. So watch out for him at the next level. Does anyone have where does he committed to again?
Arizona.
He's committed to Arizona, Bodie. You got that on the list?
That's how it is. You say a name and you just point at Bodie, and Bodie will scream out.
We got the
One
list.
I didn't even have to pull up there.
All right, my guy Jack Hafferkamp has been absolutely
Hafferkamp, Jax.
destroying baseballs. He hit another moonshot. He's got 4 on the season. Watch out for this guy, man. He is on fire right now. Kevin Takauchi, he's got 5. He's over at Rancho Bernardo. This guy is, I think I looked up his on-base percentage stat. It's in the 600, 500, top 500 range, something like that. Pretty impressive. To me, when I look up hitters, I think that's one of the first thing I look up is, are you getting on base? Because that's a really good indication of barrels often and good eye. So he's probably the top in the league at doing that in a big power school. Efren Sanchez, Otay Ranch. This guy hits absolute nukes, man. Look
Otay
out for
Ranch
this guy.
in general has had a lot of offense this year.
Look out for this guy to put up like 10 this year, man. He's jacking them. Grayson Bowles, Saints, Alan Camarillo, Alan Camarillo, Otay, Jahi Lee, RB, Chris DePrima, Del Norte. They all hit their first bomb of the season. I mean, this is what we want to see. If you're a hitter, you hate rain, you like sunshine, it's time for our hitters to get rolling here in San Diego. So it's good to see a lot of these guys on that list at the end there get their first bomb of the season. And one of them, Camarillo's, was an Oppo taco.
Oppo.
If you go to the San Diego Prep Insider page, that's where you're going to see a lot of these clips that I'm talking about. And that's my list, man. That's this week's.
Dave Ring, thank you very much. Let's talk game balls, Bodie DeSilva.
Yeah, I had Nico as well. Just mentioned last week's series against Parker, 4 doubles and a home run, so 5 extra base hits for him in that series. Landon Harbach, hopefully that's pronounced correctly, from El Capitan, in their game against Mount Miguel last week. 2 hits, 2 stolen bases, 4 runs scored, so creating problems on the base path there. Caden Perlman in their Monday game against Santana, 7 innings, 1 hitter, 8 strikeouts. Not bad for Lacosta when that might be your 3rd or 4th best arm in your rotation. Gabe Camacho followed him up one day later, a 6-inning no-hitter with 12 strikeouts against Granite Hills. Jet Kennedy from Carlsbad, there might not be a hotter hitter in the county right now. 4 for 4, 2 doubles, his 3rd home run of the season against El Camino Real. And then Tommy Entrikin from Granite Hills, 3 for 4, home run and a double. They walked off San Marcos in their game on Monday.
Is he committed yet?
I believe Cal Baptist.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. That's what I figure. I mean, if he's not, it wasn't off the board, I'd be surprised. Really good list there, man. I think
Dave, you got game balls to go along with that?
I can't believe how many doubles Newhand's hitting. That's fantastic, man. Yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to Scripps Ranch. Like they're in my top 10 still. They had a huge rally in the 7th. Let's see, who was that against? That was against Westview. Noah Kingdom led off the inning with a double, and then Liam Hunter knocked him in. I mean, this is the fire that we're seeing in these Lions games, tournament style games. I mean, this walk-off was exciting. Everyone ran out onto the field, pouring water all over Liam's head. I mean,
I want to interrupt for a hot second. I just want to reflect upon. Is this what we're looking for? Yeah, Bodie, she's looking for some bonding with you. I would just like to reflect upon walk-offs in general. We were sent this lovely video of Marcus Ramirez from Southwestern.
That was a good
Watched
one.
it earlier.
Getting
Yep.
that. Two things. One, please don't send us videos with somebody in the background screaming F yeah. Very hard to edit that out.
As Dave saw in one of my videos yesterday, I cropped it a little short because there was some language.
Secondly, if you're going to do an on-the-field video, this is really cool. But please remember that if you're looking this way and your phone is this way, we're going to barely miss the main guy the whole time. Marcus isn't in this video. They run after Marcus and he's not in this video. I love sharing this moment with you guys. Let's share all of these moments possible.
Yeah.
But if you are the guy that is on the bench when this is getting hit, you're not there to play. You are there to record this. Get it recorded correctly.
Way to
apologize.
get the
Rant over.
action, though. I love it. I love the
Hey, it's great.
enthusiasm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I love that players were allowed to record that, and I think we should be all for that. I'm just saying, in that moment, the way that Marcus's job was to get the hit, your job's to get the video.
Yeah.
Dave, keep going. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that is
It's a valid interruption.
a valid game ball right there. That is a
Video production game balls.
game ball plus advice. I wanted to shout out sophomore transfer Cole Hoffman. He transferred from Poway to Del Norte. And Bodie's going to elaborate on this a little bit more, but this is about the time where if you transfer, you're eligible to play again. So he's
I believe that date was March 28th. So that, I'm going to mention a couple of those here shortly.
he is off to a hot start, man, after being reinstated. He hit a tank off of La Jolla Country Day that I don't think it landed yet. I mean, I think it's on Genesee and it's rolling down Genesee towards the ocean.
Might be up by the new trolley
Yeah,
tracks.
it caught the trolley down to Otay.
I caught the trolley. All right, so I wanted to give him props, and then I got to shout out Ian Fisher, bro. This guy, UCLA commit. Congrats to you on that, by the way. 5-0 to start for Carlsbad, 36 Ks in 26 innings, and he shut down Christian yesterday. I saw a couple highlights of him. He looks nasty from the left side. I was working with some guys that were having to face him, and they were, we were doing some angle toss, trying to get that lefty curve. It's hard though, man. He throws gas.
Are we at the point where we have an ace right now in the county? Well, is there maybe if we don't have an ace,
There's options.
could this
Yeah.
be an SBLive sports poll?
There's like 5
over
of them.
who. So give me 3 of those options that you
Yeah,
think
and-
right now is the ace in San Diego County, because I think Ian Fisher.
Certainly in the mix.
Is
Certainly
it?
in the mix.
Totally.
I'm trying to think of a couple guys that have had some dominant no hitters. So that would be Peyton Rogers from Torrey Pines, a junior, threw one earlier this week.
100%.
Cooper Walls from La Costa Canyon, another junior, threw one earlier this year against La Jolla Country Day. So I think what's most impressive is that's 3 underclassmen right there that we're even mentioning. So
Don't forget Stunner Gonzalez too.
Yeah,
He's
another
at
another
LCC,
junior.
right?
So
Stunner's a junior.
yeah. Yeah, so
That team is low.
yeah, so no, there's a lot of choices, and it's not just seniors that maybe they're 18 and a half or something. I mean, there's
Little
guys
Joey
that,
McGreasy
there's guys
vibes.
at 16 and 17 that are throwing
I'll give you an
dominant stuff.
idea. Carlsbad also has Mitchell Gibson. He's 4-0. Blake Gordon is 4-0. So these
Yeah,
guys
and
are,
they're not committed to UCLA, so we don't want to talk about.
so these guys are up for aces too, in that sense, right?
Well, to me, that's where you start going back to the initial point that I had. That Carlsbad is to me, they are the overperforming,
Right.
shocking team. There is no other debate because the stats become so incomparable. But Bodie, you guys were saying there are there is 3 to 5 names right now that are duking it out for the Cy Young. If you will.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's fair at this point.
Fair enough.
The last guy would be Ryan Crapel on that list. He throws chairs. Poway, Arizona State commit. He's nasty to face.
No, you're supposed to say his name and then point at Bodie for the
What,
No,
where's
I
he
interviewed him in
committed again?
playoffs 2 years ago, and it feels crazy that he was only a sophomore
I
then.
know,
so.
right? He's
Yeah.
still so young.
Was that Totos for
That
game
was
balls?
it, yeah.
Bodie, what did you still have left from this
Yeah,
past week of
just
going to
mention a few of these transfers now that
Yeah.
date was, I believe, last Monday or Tuesday to get eligible. So the first 3
They're
are all
out of the penalty box.
First 3 are all Oregon commits. Funny enough, so Angel Laya, saw him yesterday. Feels like he's grown
Can you
a
hit them
foot.
with what high school they're playing
Yes. Angel Aya, he's playing right field for Eastlake, was a freshman at Mission Bay last year. Feels like he's grown a ton. Really good-looking swing from the left side there. Tyler Wick, middle infielder. He is now at St. Augustine, an Oregon commit transferred from Parker. Will Sanford had a really good outing earlier this week, or late last week for Point Loma. 4 1/3 on the mound. He struck out 12 of the 13 guys he faced. Another Oregon commit, transferred over from the Rock, where he only hit .731 last year. So there's a two-way guy and still only a junior.
We're gonna put it. You're saying 731 was the batting average, not the slugging.
Correct.
All right, we're gonna put that on the poll.
Something
So he
as a
didn't get
sophomore,
out
so he
last
picked
year.
it up a little bit.
We're gonna hit that on the poll at SD Prep Insider on Twitter, on Instagram is where you can find the polls. If you hit was 731,
Yeah.
If you hit 731, do you have
As a
room for-
sophomore.
I'm just gonna say in general, but yeah, sure. If you hit 731 as a sophomore, do you have room for improvement?
Eventually, you're just going to get unlucky on some bounces after that. Jacob Campagna, we know that name for a while, was at Francis Parker, now at Classical Academy, signed with San Jose State. And then Fidel Lopez from Eastlake, he was on the mound for them yesterday, transfer from Montgomery. So that's an interesting inter-league transfer there, but was definitely fired up and will help their Eastlake rotation as they go along.
Fantastic.
And you're saying that these are all people that have not yet played, or they're just now playing.
So
their
a lot
first
of
game
them
this
are,
week?
if they're pitching, it's
Well,
their
they've
first
already
or
got
second
in.
outing. And
Yeah, they've got in their first couple games just recently.
Yeah.
Like Tyler, I think's played like
with
2 games.
With rain last week, it was a little tough, so a lot of them are just kind of getting into it. now.
Are we going to see a rash of rain games get played at the end of the, like, is there makeup games coming for any of these teams?
I think for a few, but I think for a lot of them, they're just not.
kinda-
Yeah, with league, you don't want to make it where you got 4. You're gonna have to play 3 league, and then on your off day you add in another, and it's like, do you call up a JV kid to start? Or
to teams without minimum numbers of competitions, right? We're not
no,
close to that?
I'm
Okay.
sure instead of the 28, it may be 25 or 26.
Deal. What do you got left, Dave?
Senior player spotlight.
Let's go.
I just want to shout out a few guys that are committed. Like I said, every week I'm going to do a player spotlight. Infielder Luke Caruso, he's a Sage Creek infielder. He is committed.
Caruso,
I
bro.
didn't even write it down.
I will grab that for you. I know the name, and I'm
He's
blanking
committed
off of
to.
it as I
I'll
pull
go
it up.
back to him.
Hey, listen. Despite that, this show's still getting better every week. This show's still getting better every year. We're getting so much better. You can't expect perfect production from
Biola.
Biola.
I was gonna say you can't expect perfect production from something that we do no show prep.
Biola.
Biola.
Congrats to you, bro.
Hey, speaking of Biola, they just scored
A soccer transfer. There you go.
The oddest transfer story. Diego Precious Abubu going from Stanford football to Biola soccer. All right, so I'm sorry, Dave, I interrupted you. Keep going.
Congrats on your commitment. Infielder James Theodore at LCC committed to Webster University. These guys are all seniors, remember. Catcher for Ramona High School, Reed Gunnett. He committed to Whitworth University just this offseason, and he hit a grand slam in the Lions tournament against Bloomfield High School from Colorado. I think when I was in high school, I might have played the same team.
Little
Teams
Bloomfield?
from Colorado have been coming down here for years. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I bet you whooped that ass in high school. For those of you that don't know, of the 3 of us in this room, Dave Ring looks the most athletic because he is the most athletic. He's the only one confident with suns out, guns out. I bet Bodie, with the Masters shirt, you're probably a decent golfer. You probably. Yeah, he wants to do a little
Putting only.
deal.
Oh.
Hey, that's the hard part of the game.
You got to get there first, though.
Some more miniature golf.
But Tommy's a JV basketball legend. Bodie's a sniper at mini golf. I'm good at video games. Dave's the only real athlete. So when we talk about his glory days, he actually went on and did something with it. All right.
Remember, I played soccer too. I was a goalie.
I had actually genuinely forgotten that you were a soccer goalie at UC.
That was legit, bro.
Freaking A, man. Let's go.
I fly.
Let's go. I bet you could still probably
Goalie would be hard on my body.
I bet though if we took 10 PKs at you, I bet you could hold it down still.
Dude, that was my favorite, bro. Because I had nothing to
That's
lose.
the only part about being a goalie that anybody should enjoy.
Nothing to lose. If I get one, I'm the man.
Hell yeah. All right, what do we got left from this week in high school sports? Anything?
That was it, man.
All set.
All right, let's
get
talk
out there
about-
and see a Lions game.
I was gonna say we got the champ. By the time you've watched this, the Lions game is over.
Yeah,
So
some of
that's
these
why-
with the 10 a.m. start or a
that's
1
why you
p.m.
need to
And
go
the
to
top 10 might change tomorrow.
That's why you need to go to scorebooklive.com.
But we won't give you
or
a Friday
download
top
the
10, just a
SBLive
Monday,
Sports app.
Thursday.
Look, look. I'll tell you what we give the people. We give the people fun, authentic things that we don't have to fit into 2.5 minutes of a 10 p.m. sportscast.
Totally.
There is nothing else like this. Partially because of our lack of professionalism and standards, partially because of we have more fun than anybody else, and partially because no one else.
Yeah, Luke Caruso's going to get more love since I forgot what school he was going to. I'm going to have to give him a game ball next podcast.
Exactly.
For sure.
But, yeah, we've already had to issue public apologies to Vaughn Major, and I think that Casey Schmidt is still mad at us from 5 years ago when we picked against Eastlake in a championship.
Vaughn?
Casey Schmidt playing against Tatis Jr. right now in AAA. So
I know, that's
there
what
you
I'm
go.
saying. Yeah.
He will be in the show
Oh,
soon
man,
enough.
did you see that picture that he hit a home run off of yesterday? That
I saw
tweeted.
You, some good you got some good tweets in that. You got some good tweets in that.
Oh, man,
All right.
that was good.
Until next time, folks, go check
Thanks
out
for
DR
watching.
Hitting. Thank you very much for watching. Go support your local Malinois. They are crazy dogs.